Hi everyone, I'm back from Florida and I wanted you guys to hear a little bit about the trip. But who better to hear about it but from the students that went. So I brought my friends. I brought Brittany and Mariah.
Hi.
These are the two students that came with me from Illinois State down to Soul Surf in Panama City Beach. And so I wanted to chat with them about their experience there and what they learned and what they're excited to bring back to campus. And so we're going to have a little conversation, and I'd love for you guys to be able to listen in on that. Why don't you guys tell us a little bit about yourselves? What year are you in school, and what do you study in? And maybe your hometown.
Okay, well, I'm Brittany. I'm currently a junior here, and I'm studying history education, and my hometown, Springfield, Illinois.
Great.
I'm Mariah. I'm from Urbana, Illinois. I am a freshman, and my major is special education.
Cool. So what made you guys decide to go to Soul Surf? And if it was me,
You.
that's okay. What about, just because I said it?
You
or-
said, let's go, and I said, okay.
Excellent.
That's how I roll.
I like it.
Well, for me, I wanted to go somewhere during spring break, and I just felt like I wanted to evangelize. So I'm like, hey, why not? I like Ivy, and I like the people there, so why not go with them? But I learned so much more than what I just thought.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of learning things, what were the top 2 or 3 things that you guys learned from Soul Surf?
I'll go. Well, for me, it really motivated me to do stuff back at campus. I can be lazy at times. It's pretty hard to believe. But, yeah, so it really gave me motivation and helped me see the need for evangelism on my campus rather than just ignore it and assume somebody else will get to it. I also learned a lot about talking to people and that in rejecting whatever I have to say, they're not rejecting me, they're rejecting God. And so that's something that I think a lot of people are concerned about when evangelizing. So, yeah, that was really helpful for me, and at least for me, makes it a lot easier to approach people and talk to them about Jesus, because I know that even if they do reject it, it's not me that they're rejecting.
Yeah. What about you,
True.
Brittany?
I'd say for me, after going on this trip, my confidence level went so much higher. At first, I was kind of intimidated talking to random people, and I didn't feel comfortable. But after going to Soul Surf and you learn training and they throw you out there, so you're learning really quickly, I got so great at it with Soul Surfing with the help of God. I just felt like my confidence level went so up, and I feel like it really motivated me in order to bring it back to campus and to teach my other fellow Ivy members there. And it was just a wonderful experience for me.
So what did you guys learn about God on the trip?
He's a silly one.
How is he silly?
He just, it's weird the way he works and affects so many people in so many different ways and everybody's needs. I mean, how many people were on the trip? 20-ish?
Mm-hmm.
20-ish people, and we all got something different out of it, and something that we felt was really geared towards us, even though it was meant for everyone. It was something we all took individual things back, and also just the way he worked and the people we were ministering to, how ready they were to hear the word and how we had no idea that they would be that receptive.
For me, I feel like, man, he's pretty awesome. Seriously. I knew he was awesome before, but after he, pretty much revealed himself through me, and, Christians that were there and even the non-Christians of, the different experiences that I've seen, he just, he was already there. And, I basically, I don't know, I felt like it was a lot. And he's pretty powerful. He's pretty awesome. And that's why he's God, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, so that's what you learned about God. So what did you guys learn about yourselves on the trip?
Well, I learned that I'm pretty lazy.
What brought that up for you?
It was just one of those things that, like I said before, I was just like, oh, somebody else will get to it. I don't really need to do it. And it was just kind of one of those things where God was like, actually, you need to do it, and you have all these tools, and so go do it now. Because a lot of that stuff was stuff that I already knew, but it was just a reinforcement and, like, kind of like the kick out the door.
Mm-hmm.
Get out there and do it.
Cool.
So after this trip, I feel like coming back to campus, I really care about, those that are lost. I feel like the brokenness, it's around the world. Like, I feel like the world is so corrupt, and we need so many more laborers to, cultivate the harvest. So I just feel like there's so many more Christians need to go out there and really actually care about those non-Christians. So I just felt like I really care more about the ISU students, like, on this campus, that there's more people who need to know God and Jesus.
So one of the things that you guys have both talked about was bringing it back to campus. And so I'm wondering, what are some of the specific things that you really can't wait to do back here at ISU? Or maybe have even already been doing?
Well, for me, after Soul Surf, I feel like I've been on a rage. Like, I've been talking to random people. I don't know. It's just like God had given me plenty of opportunities to talk to certain people. Just for instance, I got a chance to talk to these 4 girls over on campus. And I just got to really witness to them and, talk to them about the gospel. And I don't know, I just feel like in my heart that, God is just stirring me up to where, I need to go out there and reach out to more people. So I'm on the rage. I'm pretty, evangelism, I'm right there. So
Would you have done that before the trip, would you say? Or
not at all. Before this trip, I wouldn't have done it. Like I said before, my confidence level wasn't as high of, approaching a complete stranger. But after that, I see past the stranger. I see a lost soul that needs to be saved, that needs to know Jesus, who he is. So, yeah.
Cool. What about you, Mariah?
For me, I'm just excited to share what we learned with everyone else. I think our chapter needs motivation, and so hopefully this will be, the motivation for them to also be as excited as we are and know what we know.
Yeah, I know that we've talked a little bit about this, but I'm excited for you guys to be able to really step up and take leadership within our chapter when it comes to evangelism, because I think you guys have now been equipped and you're ready to go. And so I'm excited to see what's going to come out of that too. So was there a particular story, thinking back over the week, was there a particular story that impacted you in a major way when we were at Soul Surf? Was there a particular session, or maybe it was a conversation that you had, something like that?
That awkward moment. For me, it was a talk that one of the staff gave. He's on staff in Chicago. And he just really talked about the whole rejection thing, and it really put things in perspective for me. For me in particular, I never want to fit the crazy Christian stereotype, so I try to keep my distance from bringing it up in conversation, because I feel like people are gonna shut down right away and be like, oh, you're just one of those people. And so it really helped me see that when people, even if people do stuff like that, they're not doing it because of me, they're doing it because of whatever past they have with Christians, and that they're rejecting God and not me. And so that really helped me being able to approach people a lot easier and not being very concerned with their response or reaction.
Cool.
So for me, there was actually an experience on the beach with another staff member of IV. We got the experience, or we had the experience of witnessing to these two girls who were so-called, they know the faith. They, one was a semi-Catholic, and then the other one, she was a pastor's daughter, so she felt like she already had knew the faith and knew what Christianity really was. But after we really showed her and explained to her and broke it down to both of them, they really realized that they weren't where they were supposed to be spiritually. So after we the tools that that I've taken, I actually explained to them the gospel, and like the looks on their face, like they felt like they were just the worst people ever. Like they were crying, they had their sunglasses on, trying to hide the tears from their eyes and everything. But I could see God just working in their hearts. And they're trying to basically, they were trying to hide it. But after we explained to them and talked to them about how we could better ourselves through Jesus Christ, they accepted him in their lives, and they were so joyful and so happy. And by that time, they were just pouring out. Their eyes were just red and makeup everywhere, and it was just awesome to see God work. And I mean, that was the proof right there that God can work anywhere, even on beaches. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, I think that the cool part about that is, so that you guys watching, most of you know that I'm going to Purdue next year, mm-hmm. And so these two students, I know, sorry, I just broke that in. These two students were actually from Purdue, mm-hmm. And so I'll be able to connect with them even next year, and they'll be a part of InterVarsity, hopefully at Purdue as well. So I think that showed me even a bigger picture of what God is doing, mm-hmm. not just with the ISU students, but also on a bigger scale across the nation. So that was really cool for me to see Brittany involved with that too. So one other thing that before we wrap up here, I want you guys to describe the scene. So let's think back to the very beginning of when you first got on the beach. What was that experience like? Was it overwhelming? And then how did your view of the beach change? Maybe what was going on the beach? You could start with that.
I mean, there was lots of drinking. People made beer pong tables out of the sand. They would dig holes, and I mean, it was a creative idea. Give them props for that. But there was all kinds of drinking games, and you could tell what guys were there for and what they were interested in on the beach. There'd be people like throwing footballs or frisbee, or like soccer, volleyball, music, smoking, other illegal drugs.
True.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so as you took all of that scene in, what was it like the first time? Was it surprising? Was it overwhelming? Or, yeah. If not, that's okay too.
For me, yeah, it was. At first, I was all for it before I got on the beach. I was like, yeah, let's go evangelize to these people, And then we went on our little scavenger hunt trying to, scope out, like, what our environment is. I got on the beach, and I'm like, whoa, it's a lot of people out here. So, I don't know. I just felt like it was a lot. It was pretty overwhelming, at the start. And I thought they were just going to throw us out there like, okay. I didn't know what to expect, so I'm just like, okay, from the knowledge, I don't know. I don't want to seem like, I'm that type of person. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I was just overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, the actual scene didn't really bother me, and I mean, I expected it, but it was like, all right, guys, now go talk to them. And it was like, wait. Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm fine with talking to strangers, but then it was like, having like an agenda made it a lot more like, am I going to say the wrong thing, mm-hmm. or whatever. So after the first day, we were all like, man, we suck at this. Let's go home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But like throughout the week, we got all the training that made it like a lot easier,
mm-hmm.
and definitely changed things.
Yeah. So how did your vision change for the beach, or did it change?
Mm-hmm.
And then if so, how did it change?
I felt like while we were there, the beach was the perfect setting to do these evangelism talks. The proxy station that we had, it was like the red cup display. What are you thirsting for in life? It's like purpose, love, success, or fun. I felt like I was more comfortable as time went on, and I felt like the beach, it was awesome. It was the perfect place because that's where everybody was. So
I think for me, one of the things that like I was realizing over the week is it started off as like there was no agenda. We were just going to go and talk to people, and then we kind of learned the agenda, and then after even like a couple of days we realized this is God's agenda, because I think after like the second or third day we were like, okay, now I know what I'm going to go and I'm going to say it to this person, and then it didn't work out, and it ended up happening with this person and that person instead. And so I think for me at least, I really realized that it's like God's agenda over ours.
That's really cool. Well, was there anything else that you guys wanted to add about Soul Surf?
Yes.
I shouldn't go.
Yes, Soul Surf is something that every student, like every Christian that is, needs to go to. I highly recommend Soul Surf because it gives you so much exposure, and it's really risky. So, I mean, some people wouldn't want to do it because they're too skeptical or they're too intimidated by it. But I feel like to overcome that, Soul Surf would be a great experience. Because I know I had a wonderful experience. So
that's really cool.
Yeah, I'd recommend it. It was a lot of fun. You learned a lot. You can apply it to different things. It wasn't one of those, a lot of missions trips, you just go on a mission trip and do something, and it's hard to apply it back in your life. But this you can apply elsewhere and use to teach other people and do your thing with it.
That's really cool.
True.
Well, that's all I had for you guys. Thank you so much for chatting with me about it. And for those of you through the computer screen, thank you so much for supporting me and helping me take these two students with. I hope you see the impact that it's going to have not only in their lives but in the lives of other students, not just from the beach but from here as well. I think it's an understatement to say that we came back with more than a tan.
True. I got dark. Like, I got a tan for real. I'm not this time. I'm just kidding.
But so thank you so much. And hopefully this won't be the last message from Soul Surf. Thanks again.
Yay.
Bye.